have a problem.
All right, welcome to the Thearly Clinking Podcast. My name is Rob. I'm one of your hosts, and we've got the great TJ on the right or on the left of me. I don't know directions. It's okay. On the left, we've got TJ. Listeners aren't gonna know.
It's actually is it the right or the...
Well, it's gonna be the right if you're looking at the camera. He's on stage left.
We're not gonna have like this issue with like the test footage we had like earlier playing Mortal Kombat where I kept pointing to that.
You were just gonna point the wrong way. I know my right and left though. I swear I do. Anyway, we're getting started here. We're gonna be all nerdy and stuff. We're gonna talk about video games and comics and movies and stuff because that's what we like. So I'm gonna start with TJ here. And we want to see, we need to introduce ourselves. It's our debut on the internet. So
our debut. We've only got 3 videos.
Mr. Coca-Cola. This is let's hear from you. Kind of what games do you play? What kind of media do you like the most? What makes you a super nerdy geek dude?
I'm single.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's it. That's the podcast, guys. We're already embarrassing ourselves, and
what makes TJ, what makes me a nerd? I guess the thing that makes me the biggest nerdy is that I am just enthusiastic about stories, and I always as a kid I always just loved stories, watching stories. From early on, I kind of just liked. I originally leached off Jurassic Park as a kid, Indiana Jones, and then I was just like, oh, this isn't good enough. I'm not saying they're not good material. I'm just saying I need more. So I actually got in a lot of my games really early on weren't just about playing just to play. I played my very first game, system I owned, was for Sega Genesis, and that was okay. But what really got me into gaming is that I got a PlayStation for Christmas one year, and then my cousin's like, "Here you go, here's Metal Gear." I'm like, "I'm only 8 years old," and my dad's like. My parents were like, I don't know if you should be playing this. My stepdad's all like, it's okay. My mom's like, it's good. It's okay.
It's a good game.
For an 8-year-old.
Yeah, that's all you need.
The whole torture scene.
8-year-old Metal Gear. The torture scene. Oh man. Just be glad it wasn't Metal Gear Solid 2 where you're running around naked boy girl. Grabbing nuts.
The president doesn't even know if you're it.
Doesn't know at all.
And so I guess that's what really got a lot of my gaming, especially with a lot of the World War II stuff that I like playing. A lot of those first-person shooters I played were actually for story, because back when I was a kid, all you had to do, like when you played Medal of Honor, all you had was the story mode. You didn't have, like, as a PlayStation 2, they didn't have always like the multiplayer. And I didn't always have friends to go play multiplayer, so I always liked story mode. And that spawned into me watching a bunch of movies and just being like, because I have attention to problems that should be apparent, and especially somebody that's worked with me.
Yep.
I don't know how I got as high as I did, but and then I got into comic books, things like that. So mostly, I guess I'm just an all-around nerd, and I like playing multiplayer, but it's not as good. I guess what makes me a nerd. What about you, Mr. Bert Force Roberts, the handsome man?
Well, it's an interesting story. Started long ago. No, I'm not going to say that. No.
A galaxy far, far away.
All right. I thought it was kind of cheesy if I was referencing Star Wars, but yeah, it started long ago. A galaxy far, far away. But no. As a boy, I played video games. Like my furthest memory growing up is watching my parents play Super Mario Brothers. So it's just been like I've just been a nerdy dude all my life. That's all I've been interested in. I love story, but I also love the retro style gaming. It started. I learned to read playing Super Mario RPG. That was the first game. It was one of my first favorite games. It was weird. I wanted to learn how to read so I could understand what was going on in Super Mario RPG.
Your parents get like, "Hey mom, can you read this?" No.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to read it.
No. I was like, no, I need to read this, or I'd have to have people read for me when I was playing.
Take that, games. Jack and Jill, going up a hill.
So
fetch it.
Yeah, I've always played that classic Nintendo. I'm definitely still a retro gamer. Like Shovel Knight is one of my favorite modern games. So I definitely tend to stick around there. when it comes to it. I also play. I am definitely all around nerd too. I like comics. I've been picking up comics here and there as a kid. Like, I really liked Sonic as a kid, so I picked up the Sonic comics. I had the Sega Genesis.
Too bad that Sega is all but
bad.
raped Sonic Drive. Is
it's bad. The Sonic Boom was the last. I watched the Game Grumps play through of that. It was awful.
I remember that was when I was a kid. That Sega, I just remember loving Sonic because that was like the only one. And then I got Sonic Pinball. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Sonic Spinball was pretty fun though. I still enjoyed that one, even though it was a spin-off and kind of weird and hard to get through. I
never got past the second boss.
There was this one point where I had a really good playthrough and I actually was able to clear it. It took me a while.
You beat the whole game?
I beat the whole game. Yeah.
I have never beat a Sonic game.
That was really difficult. I've beaten all of them.
Like Sonic 2, the furthest I got in Sonic 2 was the Flying Fortress.
The Flying Fortress.
And I remember that oil field.
That's pretty close to the end, though.
It is? Damn
Flying
it!
Fortress? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Sky Fortress, yeah.
Because that comes to the game where that's when you couldn't save.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would spend all 10 hours
exactly.
like...
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you just died, like...
Yeah. Yeah.
I just lost it.
You had to start over from the beginning. I love classic gaming, like Dark Souls, also another one of my favorites.
You just like being frustrated.
Because I like to, you have to start over from the beginning. You die, you died. You died. That's a big fucking deal. You don't just respawn, you fucking die.
I do it every time.
Start a new character, Diablo Hardcore.
This is like the third life I've lived, honestly.
Oh, is it?
Just like, I have a couple children in Brazil.
Couple children, nice. Yeah, in a previous life before I respawned, I had several children.
No, that was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, 3 weeks ago. Nice, very nice.
Yeah, I did the whole the Mad Max skit.
Yeah,
got kicked out for drugs. I was like, let's
just
go be a head fryer. I didn't do the whole angry man bald beard though. I don't think I could pull that off.
Yeah. No, it happens. But yeah, that's just me. I'm definitely a classic gamer. I like the JRPGs and just old school style games. But I will dive into modern games every once in a while here. I do like. I've definitely favored more Western RPGs as time's gone on. But yeah, mostly I just like to hang out in my old retro corner and play N64 or some Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie. That's another game that I like. Sorry, but as Kane, I grew up with as kids, man. Like as kids,
offend me, please.
I will offend you.
Do
because as kids, you have that fanboyism because you're like, well, this is my cool system because my parents spent this, and it's all you have. And you're like, mine's better. My dad can beat up your dad. And then it was like when I sit there and play. I think the thing that I hated most about 64 is like when you're a PlayStation kid growing up, you're like, oh, this is a pretty simple controller. Just hold it here. This goes left. This goes right. Triangle. See, like right now, triangle, square, circle, X. I go home, go to visit my friends. He's like, let's play Super Smash Bros. I'm like,
you look at this fucking abomination.
I want it right here.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting there playing GoldenEye. I'm like, wait, what's the point of my thumb pad? I gotta aim with this and then somehow shoot over it.
Yeah.
And then I remember when we got the analog controllers.
Yeah.
For like PlayStation.
For PlayStation, yeah.
And you like does not support analog, and you're at the store and you're like yes, yes. And then I'd bring out Metal Gear. Does not support analog. Like
no. Later on does though. You can play it with an analog stick now.
Yeah, but the first game was still just to this day it's just.
That's what I'm saying. Even with the new game,
I'd still honestly go back despite the like I know a lot of people like their 60 frames per second, like 1080p. I'm like, as long as the game looks somewhat decent, like I don't need the 1080p graphics.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people like okay, I admit this. I grew up as a PlayStation fanboy. Yeah. Despite playing Xbox, I was like. And they had the whole entire argument. Like, I don't know why this was such a big argument when the new consoles came out. Like, well, Xbox can only do 980p at 55 frames per second. I'm like, you guys most people watch TV at about 29, 25 frames per second, and they don't even notice the difference in the quality. And I'm like, is it really that big of a deal?
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just not a graphics guy.
I'm a huge graphics
which is funny is because you're a real great.
Yeah, we want to talk about graphics snobbery. That's me. It's because I got into PC gaming later on. It was more like five years ago, and then I became PC Master Race Rob now. So I love I just love games when they're at their fullest potential. And so when it's not, and I notice it, or I watch, or I see console gameplay of something, I'm like, that's running at 30 frames per second, not gonna work for me.
Like, apparently you can tell the difference. Like, half the time, the only reason why I can tell now is because I'm playing Team Fortress, and it's like, you've lost some internet connection. We dropped down to 60 to 45. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you can see the frame dropping. Yep.
And it's like, you don't even enjoy it, Mr. Let's play. What was that game you're playing? The whole entire dungeon rhythm beat thing.
Oh yeah, now I don't even play games that require graphics cards anymore. I play Shovel Knight on my PC, or
you're one of those guys that is like would pick up a DOS emulated game.
Yeah.
Have to go manually allocate the RAM.
Yes, exactly. I will go and build a master PC and then play like emulator games on it. Go back and play Super NES. And
my programming teacher, not this semester but last semester, when I was taking 1410 Java, he was making fun of how gamers today is like, you guys have it so easy. Like when I was playing games back in the day, I had to go physically allocate how much memory, and you'd have to sit there and you'd read on the back of the thing. You like such and such RAM.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I can't run that much RAM, so I'm going to try to skirt it and go, I'm going to go 30. It requires 40. And you'd have to, like, and he's like, you sitting there playing, it's like, I'd get, like, about maybe 5-10 minutes before the RAM went. And he's sitting there out at town, and he's like, that's how I'd play games. It's like, I'd go 5-10 minute intervals because that's all the RAM I had.
All of the RAM. Oh, Jesus.
Well, you got problems like that today. Like, my biggest problem is that when I finally actually built my PC, and I got the whole 720, whatever, I don't know the whole graphics scheme, but it was like $250. That's all I know how much it cost, and it was refurbished. I finally started playing. I wanted to get back into Fallout New Vegas, and I already put like 200 hours on the console version, and in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I wanted to sit there and download all these mods, and me being kind of naive, like 2 hours later. Out of memory. I'm like, out of memory? I've got 12 gigs of memory. How can you be out of memory?
Yeah.
You barely...
Yeah.
And then you sit there and you require it, and you remember when the game first came out, like 4 gigs of memory is like, they've only allocated 2 gigs of memory at first, and then my 4 gigs, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go download a patch and go download 4 gigs, and that 4 gigs of memory for the patch isn't even enough anymore. Like, because these people, I think that's the reason why people don't mod with Fallout anymore, is because nobody's come out with a decent mod that can go past...
that can make it work. Yeah, I remember trying to play Fallout New Vegas when it came out, and it was just Crash Festival because of like the RAM would fill up or some shit. Like I know Skyrim had a very similar issue too, where it would just crash all the time. Bethesda has a very hard time optimizing their games for PC.
All I can say is that you make good shit. When you continually go back to a game that is constantly crashing.
Yeah, seriously. Like it was like, well, I crashed, but I'll play through the story again. I don't care. I'll play through those quests that I missed again because my character is pretty badass right now.
Well, the hardest thing was on PlayStation 3 though. Like I'd be sitting there. I remember playing Fallout 3 for the first time after I bought it, and I'd sit there going for like 5 hours just wandering the way. The problem is that it doesn't auto save in time intervals.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden you just realize, and your character's just like, and you're like, why would you do this to me? And I remember actually going I'm like, fuck it. So I took the eject button, popped out the game, popped it back in, and it started working again. I was like, yes! And I was like, yeah, and then it froze.
Yeah.
But the good thing about one thing I used to like being PC now is that I still have a console. I will always be a console gamer, despite me owning the PC, just because it's simple, it's easy.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say console gaming is going to go away.
I think it will for sure.
I don't think it will, mostly because it's easy.
It's a thing right now. And I think it's a thing, and it's obviously in a transition period. for people to get used to like not playing something.
I think the reason why it's not going to go away is mostly for kids.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: when you're a parent, you're not going to go, "Hey, look, let's go spend $150, $750, some odd amount of dollars to build this machine." And I think it's
except when the consoles cost like $500 at launch. That's
that's one $500 you only have to pay out so often. The thing is with PC games though is that they're constantly always breaking the benchmark. And the thing is that they're always kind of like the good thing. What makes console gaming easy for a minor generation, is that they've already benchmarked it perfectly for the system. You don't have to go in there spend hours and go like, what do I want? I have to click up the graphics button this much. Do I want higher on it? Mining, things like that. So, and console gaming is always just gonna hold a lot better memories for me because
that's where you grew up with
Metal Gear. But I don't mean to take the show away from you.
No, you're a part of this show as much as I am. But we wanna hog the camera together.
I can't get my.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it, man. There, Coke bottles.
Wait, hold on.
The Coke addiction is real.
It's not an addiction. I can quit anytime.
Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. Anyway, so, I mean, what have you been playing lately, TJ? What games have tickled your fancy?
I try to do Skyrim. I am having the hardest time playing Skyrim. I mean, I just want to shoot things.
Yeah.
And then it's like, here's your magicka. I'm like, and then you like stamina. I'm like,
arrow.
I'm like, fire, lightning. I'm like, oh, magicka. Pop a few. I was like,
pop a potion.
To this day, I don't know if it's because a lot of my families have just been in the military, and I've been in the military myself. It's just, I actually like if you watch did you watch any of the terrible skit I did where the bleeps my gun?
Oh yeah, I watched some of your playthrough of that. Yeah,
like I make a pretty really good mention at the beginning of the game. At the game is like Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort. Oh my goodness, my magic's not strong enough to kill Harry. I'm like, as far as I know, Harry does not have any protection against the bullets. Set a 50 caliber sniper up there, boom, Harry Potter's dead.
Yeah.
Like Lord Voldemort's come back from the dead. He's got that whole like, and like I don't know.
Maybe there's some like magical gun protection that they have. I have no idea. They don't explain it in Harry Potter. They never do. We'll never find out. Are they immune to bullets? We don't know.
And I guess the problem is I'm having the Skyrim though. I mean, I enjoy some of the one of my favorite mechanics that Fallout does not have is the ability to block. Like, I mean, you can block in Fallout, but the worst you can do is just go like this.
Yeah.
But you can like parry in Skyrim.
Yeah, you can completely.
And then that's one thing I like.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent like in the video I skipped like me 15 minutes around just dicking around with the character creator.
Sure.
And I picked a Nord, and you do the 200 weapons pretty well, and I was like, and it's the thing that pissed me off though is like they're both the same company, and when I first got in there I was like, A, take all, A, take all.
You can't.
Because it's R.
They changed it.
I was like, you guys are the same company. Why do you have to do this to me?
Yeah.
And it's a good game. I just don't think
it's not yours.
Yeah, it's just not my game.
Yeah.
Like the whole entire atmosphere does not catch me. I don't hate fantasy. One of my favorite books as a kid growing up was The Hobbit. I hated Lord of the Rings. I tried to read Lord of the Rings, but that was just like he got like paid kind of by the word.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I got to the forest, I was like, kill me. Because he's like, well, I'm describing the Calipitter as he slowly crossed the leaf, and he's all like, hello, mister. I'm like, why do I need to know that? Okay, I digress. But another game I've been playing a lot again is, especially since I got Comcast and got a lot better internet and I can stream at the same time, is Team Fortress 2.
Sweet. I haven't played that game in a long time, but
I love it.
It's a good game, for sure.
It's really well balanced, and the thing I liked about it most is a lot of multiplayer shooters is that they're trying to stay with the whole entire like modern warfare aesthetic.
Yeah.
And Team Fortress is like, throw it out the window. Who cares?
Fuck that shit.
They built a really they built a really good a balanced multiplayer.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying that because
it's been around long enough that it's they've been able to balance it that way.
Yeah, and the thing is, now that I got a computer that can play it, I've been playing a lot more of it because the reason why I didn't PC game a lot as a kid is because I had
never had a
No, because my parents weren't going to go spend $1,000.
Yeah.
I spent my $1,000, and then now I got a card that can run it, things like that.
Yeah.
And I played Alien Isolation. I'm glad I did not pay $60 for that.
Oh man, I really want to play it.
I'll give it.
It sounds like a pain in the ass. You'll have to let me borrow it or something.
All right, between survival horror games, I played Outlast. Outlast is still one of my favorite games, and I got that for free being on the PlayStation because they were doing this deal when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I was
we attempted to play through it.
Oh yeah. The thing I liked about that though is that even though you would still die in like one hit, like in Alien's Isolation, is what the AI would follow a
set pattern.
And it wasn't like a set pattern that was easy to always figure out at once.
Right.
I would screw up.
Right.
But the thing is I wouldn't like.
You could master that.
I could figure it out. Yeah. And the one thing and this is you probably enjoy it because it goes back to like the frustrating gameplay of like Dark Souls.
Well, there's frustrating, and then there's I don't know. It's two different things. Like Dark Souls, I think is fair. It's frustrating, but it's fair.
Okay, then Alien Isolation isn't.
Yeah,
there's a problem with Alien Isolation though is that you're trying to figure out this whole entire this AI system, and then the thing is you only can start at save points.
Yeah.
And the save points are far and few in between. And the thing is that you lose. I don't know how does Dark Souls work that way.
You lose like what? Like everything?
Yeah, you lose everything to the last save point.
Yeah, and sort of. You lose your souls in the place, which is just like your currency for
but you can go pick it back
points,
up.
but you can go pick it back up if you.
But with Alien Isolation, though, as soon as I die, it's like
you lost your save.
I have to go back.
Yeah. And
the thing is, I've spent like half an hour, and all of a sudden I'm playing right.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like I'll hide in this locker, and it's
a bad guess.
No, it's not a bad guess. It's gone by like 10, 15 times without noticing me, and all of a sudden it's just like. Like
doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah.
Okay. The thing that was great about the game though is that I loved how they kept with the atmosphere of the original 80s, 70s
That's awesome.
movie. And they had the whole DOS computers, they had everything, like the video cameras weren't even. I mean, I recommend playing it on easy. Like I played it on normal and I was about ready just to shoot myself.
It was just, it seemed like a pretty good game.
I might want to go back and download they have a DLC where you can play as actually Ripley on the time they find it.
Oh.
So I think that might get me back in just for the whole nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
What are you currently dabbling around with?
I'm dabbling with a few things. Mostly been playing a lot of Hearthstone. I'm getting hyped for The Witcher.
Damn you.
And so
Damn you and that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get I'm trying not to get too involved in a game right now because Witcher 3 is coming up soon. So I've been playing Hearthstone quite a bit. Just kind of
that's why I said damn you. Because I got bored the other day at work. I'm like, I'm tired of Jetpack Joyride. Let's go play Hearthstone.
Yep.
And I got out of Magic because it was just like I didn't have the money, but now I've got mobile Magic.
Now you got
the mobile version.
Yeah, mobile.
And I'm sitting there like, I only had the game for 2 days and I spent $50 on it.
It's awesome. It's like if if you ever watched the Yu-Gi-Oh anime and you ever wanted to walk around with and play cards with random people, now you can play Hearthstone, which is like it's Warcraft themed.
And the thing I love about it is though is like the reason why I got into Magic is because it costs so much.
Yeah.
So I used to go do booster drafts.
Yeah.
Now I can do booster drafts whenever I want.
Yeah.
Because most of the time booster drafts are at Friday night when I'm working. And now I can go do a booster draft.
Now you can pay $2.99 or whatever, or the 150 gold from your daily quests, whatever you feel like. But yeah, I love that game. That's a game I've been addicted to since like that the Goblins vs Gnomes expansion. I was kind of like lightly playing it beforehand, but I dove right in after that expansion. It made the game.
Well, the funny
really
thing is, I started streaming it. You know, I like streaming. But everybody, I swear, if I ever find a person that constantly puts all that crap, like, hey, go earn money here, I'm going to punch you in the face. I am tired, I'm like, hey, I got a streamer. 30 seconds later.
It's just a pop-up ad. It happens. It's just early days. Anyway.
Oh, how's Mortal Kombat going?
Mortal Kombat X is the other game that I've been playing here and there, and I really, really, really like that game. I know a lot of people think the PC version's broken, but it's not. It's totally fine.
What are the scenes broken?
I've played it just fine. I know there was an issue at launch where you couldn't play it because Steam was trying a new streaming service where you download a part of the game and then it would stream the rest as it was downloading it.
Oh, that's what they try to do. That's what they try to do with the PlayStation and Xbox.
It didn't really work out all too well
because when we first played it, we didn't have a problem.
Yeah, it wasn't streaming the game at all. It was just a main menu simulator, and so there was all the Steam reviews going up that said, "Oh, best."
Actually, you know what? You know what kind of did that? Hardline kind of did that.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting there just before I got my new internet, so this was like really slow. It was like less than like 15. I was like 7 megs per second, and I was like, let's go buy the digital version of Hardline. And all of a sudden, it's like first mission downloaded, and then all the first mission is like, let's go chase around in there. Let's pretend to shoot people, and then chase around a car. And it's like play episodes as you download it. No. It's like here's your first episode. You can play this infinitely.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, so Mortal Kombat X though is definitely one of my favorite games this year.
You kick my ass like every time we got
into
it.
It's a fun game. I love fighting games. It goes with a lot of the retro stuff that I like to play. Fighting games are one of them. I played Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Remember when the Xbox One first came out at work?
Yeah,
and we would just sit and
play Killer Instinct.
And they're like, people would come up, hey, can you help me with this? No, I'm busy. I'm testing something.
Yep, we were playing some Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct is so good. That's a great game too. I was playing that quite a bit. I don't have an Xbox One anymore.
Oh,
but
you
I would totally.
It?
Yeah, I got rid of it.
Who'd you sell it to?
Just someone.
Some random person.
Yeah, just a random person, man. Sorry, man, you don't get it. It's okay, because
it'll
honestly,
come back. The only thing. Okay. When I was a big hardcore PlayStation fanboy, used to, so don't anybody out there that's just like, oh, he likes playing. No. I had the hardest time. The only game I really wanted growing up was Dead Rising 1 on the 360 and then Gears of War. And as of right now, there were just no exclusive. Like, Xbox is not...
I'm thinking both ways. On even PlayStation 4, I can't think of a game that I would pick it up for.
Uncharted 4.
Other than, well, that's even, like, right now, it's like Bloodborne would be the only reason I'd pick up a PlayStation 4. I really hope they just release all the ones that I like on PC, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's not really... Uncharted 4, like, they're coming out with they want to do a collection of all
Uncharted
3 games.
Collection, yeah.
And
I could see that. Do an HD collection, because they do that of everything, but...
I don't care.
It's cool. No, I'll buy all the HD collections.
The only thing is that if they did an HD collection, they would have to fix the controls of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I first jumped on an Uncharted bandwagon, it'd been after a few months after... Oh, sorry, you were just doing some... Is the audio... Is the audio not syncing up?
You're not loud enough.
I'm not loud enough?
Yep, there you
go.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry. I was like...
I was looking at the wavelengths.
The wavelengths.
You're not being loud.
Which is funny because most people think I'm like too loud most of the time.
Anyway.
The one thing I picked up the Uncharted bandwagon after like it dropped in like $40, and I picked up number 2. And number 2 is like honestly still one of my favorite games of all time. And then I played 3, and I remember like, hey, I gotta borrow 1 from you because I never actually played 1. And I'm just sitting there going, this is when they were like trying to do the 6-axis controller, like throw your grenades by arcing them back and forth. I'm like,
yeah.
And the controls were not as refined. So I'm excited for that. Is there anything else that you've been looking into? How's that dungeon beat game?
I've never... I don't know. I've only played it once. Yeah, it was... Yeah, it's okay. It's hard. It's very difficult. I don't know if I'll play it.
Do the monsters like attack you if you don't move in the rhythm? Do the monsters move?
Yeah, so everybody moves in the rhythm. So if you move, it depends on what character you're playing. There's like different characters and different things will happen. But I don't know. I'm not really. I'm having a hard time getting to that one. I'm not big on rhythm games.
Seems really like
so.
It seems overly difficult. Like I can understand like a challenge.
Oh, it's not overtly difficult. It's just a learning curve, and I haven't spent the time to get over the little curve. But it looks fun. It's pretty cool. I've really only played a few minutes of it, but really just have been digging into just the Mortal Kombat and Hearthstone right now. Just some easy, light games that don't require a whole lot of attention. I'm probably gonna play through the Mass Effect series here pretty soon. I did start playing Mass Effect 1 today, but I think
it's so funny about that game is like I don't know why they got like such a terrible voice actor for the male.
I love male shepherd. I don't know why. I have an attachment.
He's like, male shepherd, the world's ending. Yeah, I know.
I know. I like it.
We're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you guy over there making fun of me, and then the female voice actor just such a solid, cool job. Actually, when I first played up, I was like, this is before I actually started playing a lot of his female characters. When they gave me the choice, I picked up Femme Shepherd because I was like, I want to look at a woman for
Let's try it.
for about 40 hours of gameplay, and I wanted to see what it. And then like about 10 to 15 minutes into the game, I was like, no, let's go back and play Male Shepherd. And then as soon as I started getting past, like, because I had to start with 2 because the PlayStation 3 only got 2.
Yeah.
It never got 1. It got 1 later.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting there, I was like, he's all sitting there like talking the voice acting. I'm like, screw this, I'm going back to my female side. I'm like, I cannot listen to this for another 40 hours.
Yeah. I love the Male Shepherd because he
just like that.
He has this. It's so funny to me. I don't know, like when he like says something, or anytime you pick a dialogue option, he's like he just says it in this. That's
another reason why I can play
weird
Assassin's
voice
Creed.
acting.
Like okay, first one, Assassin's Creed #1, really good game. Then I started playing Assassin's Creed 2, but there was just some issues with a lot of the controls. Like when you try to go Pele, it was a little kind of difficult, and then you just randomly jump off buildings. And you got Ezio. My father died. My family died. I don't know how to act. Sad. Boo hoo hoo. You want to make love with me?
Oh man.
Okay, that was good. Let's do it again later. And he's just like this whole entire mono. What you mean? We're creatures from space? And he's just like, you are not part of the Catholic Church. I am. It's like. And then they go, it's the me, Mario. I'm like, did you really just make that joke?
You made the joke? That's awesome. I haven't played Assassin's Creed 2.
It's terrible. Like, and then the storyline, like, they had a really good chance to, like, really extend the storyline, and then it was just, like, it wasn't really that good at all. It was just really poorly. And a lot of I've never understood the Assassin's Creed games. Like, a lot of people give guff to Activision making Call of Duty every year. And a lot of people go, why'd you spec it down again? I'm like, okay, it's $60. You're playing for something that you like from That's the reason why people keep going. I mean, they're losing the bandwagon as they go.
Yeah.
But Assassin's Creed, I'm sitting there and just like, why hasn't anybody got mad at Assassin's
Creed?
No,
people get mad at Assassin's
I don't
Creed.
hear it as much. I guess I don't hear as much as Call of Duty than I do with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I think it's just because there's those hardcore fanboys that really like stick with it. That's like their series, and I've met several people that are that way. They're just like, oh, I love Assassin's Creed. That's my favorite, because it's got the story that people like to follow. But I don't know. Like, I've only played the first game. I haven't really gotten into it, so I can't really say.
Well, what I've seen of the story, it's not even that good of a story.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
It was weird because it was like, I remember before it came out, you thought, oh, this is gonna be set in the, back in early like 1300s, or early. Whenever.
And then they hear
and then they had this like modern day like stuff going on when the game came out. Like you didn't know about the whole Matrix stuff that's going on in it. So
honestly, I think a lot of the
really
series is the whole science fiction thing, because I just don't think it works very well. It just seems it seems more forced than it is anything. And they try to do the whole entire like genetic code thing, like everybody's stored thing, like Metal Gear had to do. And I don't think it interweaves the science fiction with really that well, and it just seems forced and kind of more of an afterthought. I think it would have been better if they just kind of just, I don't know. I guess it's just, and the voice acting, like,
was the voice acting terrible?
Like every game,
I never really thought it was terrible. I only played the first one though, so I don't know.
I guess I shouldn't be complaining because Fallout does this.
The first Metal Gear like had some weird voice acting. Or even like it was like the stereotypical Asian lady with always just
David.
Melee.
David Hayter is not that good.
David Hayter is great.
He's great because
he's set up. He is Snake. Like that's.
I'm always angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smoking's good for you.
Yeah. I just love it because it was the over-exaggerated action hero
And I think that's good. Like that's what the whole point is.
Yeah.
Is that? But it seems like every time in Assassin's Creed is that they're purposely like trying to be like.
But it's trying to take itself seriously.
But the thing with Fallout, though, I guess it's a little bit that it's never been such a serious game.
Yeah,
so like when they always do like, and the thing with Fallout though, I this cracks me up. They only got like 4 voice actors that like.
Yeah.
And then it got that flesh out like 50 characters.
Yeah. Yep. Skyrim's kind of the same way.
Well,
too.
yeah, I know.
You talk to all the guards, and they're all Norse and took an arrow to the knee. But yeah, that's so that's what I've been playing, though, I guess. And
what's coming out though?
What is coming out? There's some really cool games coming out. Witcher 3 is kind of on the top of my list right now.
I can't pick that game up because I will have no life. I'll be like, screw homework. Witcher 3.
I'm scared because I'm gonna be playing Witcher 3 all the time, but I am so excited for it. It's just looks like an absolute step up from
I'm getting another World War II game coming out.
Oh yeah,
Wolfenstein, Old Blood. Okay, it's a prequel to the New Order.
Sure.
But that game was like, the reason why I love that game so much is that it had a lot of the old school mechanics. Like when I was playing Medal, a lot of the game, I grew up playing Medal of Honor frontline mostly, and when you got hit, you had to go find health packs, things like that. I remember actually getting like towards like almost to the end of the level, and I would backtrack to the very beginning just to find health packs. And Wolfenstein, if you haven't played it, I mean, I don't know, you don't like shooters as much. I remember getting to play Destiny, and you're like.
I eventually played it to like level 7 and then stopped.
I just remember my friend Casey being really mad at me. He's like, "Why are you letting your friend play? You need to go raid." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh.
But no, Old Blood, I guess, actually looks. I just love that nostalgia. It's just, and it's a modern day, and it's good.
Looks really cool. I'll have to pick up the old Wolfenstein and play it on the PC one of these days. That'll be really cool.
I think it's like $10 now.
Is it? If it's on sale, I'll totally pick it up.
Actually, no, I take it back. I think last time I checked, it might be like 50.
It's probably more like 50. Yeah.
And the thing is, it came out last. That game is like there's just nobody suspected.
There's a lot of really cool references and stuff in it.
I never played the original Wolfensteins. I never played any of the ones previous to that because I wanted to get the one on the PS3 before that, where it was like the one was like you can go other areas, and it was just like it was kind of going away a lot from its roots. I like. Growing up was a lot of War II stuff. I liked one of my favorite Call of Duties was World at War, especially when they did all the Nazi zombies, because I love a lot of that stuff where they do the whole like science fiction-y kind of like thing, and then Wolfenstein put this whole entire new quirk on it.
Okay.
So it's good. Street Fighter 4 is coming out for the PS4.
That's pretty cool. I like Street Fighter 4. I have it on PlayStation 4 and PC Ultra. So I don't really. Or PlayStation 3. Anyway,
I know everybody likes Chun-Li, but I'm a Cammy girl.
Cammy? You're a Cammy girl. That's nice. That's nice. Hey, today TJ admitted to being a transvestite on cast. It's a monumental moment. He is a Cammy kind of girl.
First episode, right up.
Yeah, just right out of the closet. You know, you got to come out with a bang, and that's how you do it. You got to come out. You actually have to come out and be like, I am a girl. I'm actually a girl. Did you know that? I mean, you might not be able to tell about. Like through my voice, but I'm actually a girl. Anyway, looks like The Last of Us is releasing some new content pretty soon here too.
Yeah, we gotta get you to play that game. I know.
Yeah, I know you much of the post-apocalyptic or zombies. I that stuff like it's not my thing.
We played about the first 15 minutes though.
Yeah,
and you saw what happened in the beginning.
Yeah, I think
spoiler alerts. If you haven't played The Last of Us, stop living under a damn rock. If you ever heard how the game starts, stop living under a damn rock. But so if you guys need to turn it off now. But that whole entire like a game that get me like I have no problem admitting that I cry as a man because it takes a lot to get me though. But if it does feel like 15 minutes into a game and I'm already bawling my eyes out because he lost his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I can't wait for? They haven't made any announcement. Walking Dead Season 3.
Walking Dead.
Did you play that yet?
I will not play it. I'm not into the Walking Dead series. The only Telltale game I was able to get into, which was Wolf Among Us, which is amazing.
That's so the reason why I would say the Walking Dead is just as good.
I bet it is.
It stands alone.
I don't really care for the series.
I wanted to play the new Borderlands they had. I heard that was actually pretty decent.
Oh yeah, I bet I'd like that too. Although I still haven't been able to get into Borderlands 1 or 2. But
I mean, I can understand. They're really.
There's a lot.
I love the humor around it, though. I wish I would.
That's one thing that really hooked me on.
I think the reason why I like the humor so much is that it can go from being really, really dry to like just
nonsense,
to just complete nonsense.
Yeah.
And a lot of my humor. The thing is a lot of my humor that I tend to write, if I do write stuff, is dry. Like I love dry humor because it's like, was that funny? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Because the thing about dry humor though is it's not a in your face humor. You really have it's one of those humors that is just best reflected upon.
Yeah.
And it was just
sometimes it's really clever.
That's why I like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. Like they have some really
British
good
comedy is all pretty much that. But yeah, I agree.
Those movies have some really in your great humor.
Yeah.
But then when you like look back on it, you see all the dry humor that you missed.
Yeah.
Movies that are coming out. You just watched Ultron.
I did watch Age of Ultron. It's really good.
I need to watch it because I'm watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the next episode is going to tie directly into that movie.
Yeah, I guess. And based on like reading the last few interviews with Joss Whedon, sounds like he kind of made the movie for people who have only seen the movies. So, Coulson isn't coming back in the movies. I think he actually said, that Coulson's just dead in the movies.
They're going to bring him back. I think they might bring him back from Civil War because here's the thing though, is that Coulson. I love Coulson from like the very first moment I saw him in Iron Man 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's a cool character.
He's a great character. Yeah. I mean, when he died, the fans literally brought him back to life.
Yeah.
And that was like, have you seen the first season?
I've seen like the first 5 episodes of it.
I won't say too much. I say that's a good first season. It kind of drags a bit, but when it ties into Captain America: The Winter Soldier, it picks back up, and so it's gonna drag for a little bit. And the second season's been fantastic. I've loved it.
Okay.
But I recommend picking up just because it's good. But I think the thing is that once Joss Whedon goes, Marvel's going to want to bring him back in. And I think it's okay. At some point they're going to have they're going to have to bring him back in though, because he is part of cuz the MCU movie universe is the show's linked directly to it. So they're going to have to bring him back in, mostly just because of some fan service.
Yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Like Joss Whedon's always.
Oh, okay. Weird, like, the only reason why I want to see Ultron though is for James Spader as Ultron. That's the only reason why I watch.
James Spader does a perfect James Spader impression as Ultron. That's absolutely true. I think he's entertaining, and I think that's what made part of that movie entertaining was him voicing Ultron. Although it was kind of weird that he was the robot and the robot was actually saying clever lines like James Spader would, so it was really weird because like Ultron's actually kind of a smart ass, and it's like
so Tony Stark just took his James Spader and knocked him on the head and was like, here's a robot.
Yeah, it's pretty much like it's James Spader in a suit like saying James Spader lines.
That's the only reason why I watch Blacklist. Blacklist has been like,
I have not seen
it's been okay, but the only reason why I've consistently stayed up for it is just because of the character Red Reddington. But I hear that Ultron's been like, a lot of the critics say it's a good movie to watch, but it doesn't have very much substance as like the first one. So you're gonna still like, I heard it's still enjoyable, but it just doesn't quite leave as what do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess so. It's not like, oh, this is the first time, so it's not as like as spectacular as like the first one was, and I don't think they can recreate the moments of the first one, but it felt like they were just kind of rehashing a lot of that throughout the film, like they're group fighting, and it was definitely, I don't know, there was some pacing issues with this one, whereas the other one like kept moving. This one they stopped for a little while. There isn't a lot of action.
That's actually one of the critics said that.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue with it, was there was some pacing problems. But other than that, it was a really good movie. Like it's a good Marvel movie, and one of the
movie I've been most excited for this whole year is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes.
Like when they first came out with the teaser like that, I watched that teaser like 20 times just because like they do the whole entire like they did the symphony music.
Okay.
And the drums, and I'm like, Tom Hardy, like, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Me being okay. Apparently, I've already come out as a transvestite. My number one.
My number one. You're a Mad Max kind of girl as well.
Okay, no, not so much. When I first watched Mad Max, my very first one was Thunderdome, and then I had to go back and watch Mad Max, and I was sitting there watching the movie the first time, and like, how the hell did this become popular? Like, it's got some really bad pacing issues.
Sure.
But I think what made it popular is it was unique. It's not. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie, but it's not like super fantastic. And but the thing is, I wanted to see a Mad Max for my generation, and Fury just looked like that option. The great thing about this though is it's back when they made The Thing, the prequel.
Right.
A lot of people that was a remake. Is that it's actually doing the exact same The Thing did. It's within the same universe. It's a continuation, and the only reason why they George Miller. Yeah, George Miller. The only reason why he's going with Tom Hardy is because Mel Gibson's just gotten too old.
Yeah.
So it's an actual. It is not a remake. It is not a re/remove. And it's a straight on continuation of as if Thunderdome had just continued going on. And plus, my favorite Charlize Theron. That's my. So I've got my number one man crush.
Yeah.
My number one.
Well,
it used to be.
Cammy and Charlize Theron kind of girl. And you can get together now and have a girl party.
It used to be Angela Jolie, because when I grew up, the other PlayStation 1 game I owned was Tomb Raider 2.
Okay.
And so since the Tomb Raider movie came out, I was like,
yeah.
And then Angela Jolie was such a perfect environment. Then I found out she had Billy Bob Thornton's blood around her neck for like the longest time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna step back away from here.
Yeah.
Almost too much.
Yep.
But no, that movie looks fantastic. I think the only thing that's going to really kill that movie is the pacing issues on that. Because I hear it's just, I hear the problem that they had on set is that there was no script.
Oh, yes.
And that kind of made Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy just hate each other.
Really?
Because the thing with Tom Hardy, though, is that he likes, if you ever watch WatchMojo.com, they do the whole top 10 actors that can change their accents.
Right.
And he makes like the top 5.
Okay. And
Tom Hardy likes to be really serious about the way he approaches roles. And so does Charlize Theron. Because in proof of this, if you ever see this really beautiful woman, you go see the movie Monster. She takes this really whole entire looks like this whole lovely woman.
Yeah. Okay.
And you got these two actors with no no script, so they just
don't know what to do.
So I'm really excited for that. Any other? You want to go see Jurassic Park?
No. I'm really not looking forward to that one at all.
Vincent D'Onofrio's in it. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he pretty much replaces Moladin from the first movie.
Oh, okay.
So he's the security expert.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'll probably see it. I want it to be cool, but I just think it doesn't look good to me. I'm pessimistic on that one.
For sure. I
hope it's good.
It's like
really
potato chips. Like I don't like. Yeah. I didn't go see Jurassic Park 3 when it first came out because it was gonna be a good movie. I was just like,
let's just consume.
It's like one of those potato chips. Like Tom Hardy is like a potato chip for me. Liam Neeson is another potato chip for me. Just fatty, greasy goodness. Like the only reason why I watched you were there.
I was there. Yes.
I was like, I convinced a whole party of you guys to go watch Nonstop, and the only reason why I wanted to watch that was just for when Liam Neeson 0 G's grabs the gun and shoots the guy.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Zero gravity. Oh man. Oh man, cheesy action movies. They're so hit or miss for me. But yeah.
Who comes out this year also? Spectre. The Bond 20.
DC. Oh, no, the Bond. I was like, wait, they're doing a DC movie for Spectre? That'd be sweet.
No. The Spectre, I didn't know who the Spectre was at first. I picked up Constantine, the new DC comic, because I grew up. My first introduction of Constantine was the terrible Keanu Reeves movie.
Okay.
Crappy movie, but it's just still fun to watch, especially when
I've never seen it.
It's got one of the best devils ever, Peter Stormare. You know who he is?
Oh yeah, Peter.
He also played one of the reasons why I like him so much is because he voices Matthias in Mercenaries too.
Okay, yeah.
But he does this really good impression of the devil.
Okay.
And I didn't know he was actually a comic book character at the time when I first saw it, but then I'm like, so I jumped on the whole entire Constantine bandwagon as soon as I could. And my uncle probably's gonna hate me for this. He's like, "That's not Constantine. You need to go watch the You gotta go read the Vertigo stuff." I'm like, okay, but then a few issues in, he starts to fight the Spectre. And the Spectre's like, "You're coming with me because you're such a bad person." Constantine's like, "No, I still."
Yeah.
Well, because the first issue, I'm reading the first issue of Constantine. And this sorcerer is like, "I'm gonna kill this man and tear him in 1,000 pieces unless you give me the compass." He's like, "Okay." And they built it up where he's helping this guy, and he's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "You go ahead and kill him, but I can't give you this." And that's the reason why I kind of like Constantine. I got
we got super off track, but that's okay. So yesterday was a free comic book day. You went crazy, didn't you?
Wait, hold on. Where's the light? Is that bad?
Oh, there's light.
Is that bad in the camera?
No, it's not bad.
Okay. All right, so I love my boss, Joe Champy. That came out weird.
You love your boss. As a girl. You're
married.
A boss kind of girl. Maybe. That's kind of weird. Speaking of Cammy in Street Fighter.
Oh wait. Is that working out?
There's a comic book for you.
It's free comic book.
Street Fighter.
The reason why
Viper and
the reason why I went mostly is because of, let me see if I can find it. Nope. Okay, this one right here.
This is Fight Club.
The great thing about that though is that it's not a continuation from the movie, though the movie's fantastic.
Sure.
It's a continuation actually from the book, and it's
from the book. Okay.
And it's actually written by Chuck. I can't say his name.
Palahniuk. I don't know. I'm not gonna pronounce it any better than anybody else. I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
American man.
But the great thing about that though is that it actually is a continuation, and this, you know what makes me excited is I just want them to make another movie with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. That's another man crush of mine, Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Oh, then I got this.
Join in.
This actually was not part of Free Comic Book Day, but this is one of the movie posters they have. I'm kind of sad if anybody wants to get me to an actual original cover of Batman 40. This is spoiler alerts again, spoiling where Batman dies.
Batman
and the Joker
dying
died
again, man.
Actually, he's died. This is like I don't know how official they're gonna get the canon, but that actually leads into this one right here, where you see Jim Gordon take over this bat suit, and the reason why he's doing it is because they're trying to continue the legacy of Batman. Everybody knows Batman's dead in Gotham.
Yeah.
And another thing I liked about this issue right here was Lois Lane decided to release Clark Kent's identity.
Crazy.
So everyone knows, and then she comes up to Clark, who's like in the middle of the hotel. She's like, "I'm really, really sorry." He's like, "Okay, get the hell out of here." And then the best part is Darkseid's daughter.
Okay.
And I swear, if they ever do Darkseid in the DC universe, don't get an actor, CGI him for the main reason so you can get Michael Ironside to be his voice. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about, the cartoons.
Yeah, Justice League cartoons. Not gonna happen. They'll find somebody to do it.
No, he is Darkseid. Like he is Sam Fisher. Like one of the things that pissed me off the most about the new Splinter Cell game
was they nixed him just like they did with Metal Gear.
They're like,
get rid of David Hayter.
That's a little different though. Like, I still think they're gonna bring David Hayter back. And I mean, he's been teasing.
That's what I think too. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
But the thing is that when
I feel like David Hayter would have came out with it by now, or something would have been released.
Unless he's got a contract.
Maybe it'll be a surprise. But
at first I was kind of against it. But as I played the what is it, Ground Zeroes, I didn't really hate it. I think Keith
I don't think it's terrible.
I think he does a really good job.
I think he's fine, but it's gonna nick at my nostalgia bone.
Yeah, when they replaced Sam Fisher's voice actor, he did a terrible job.
Yeah,
like there was just something about Michael Ironside that just lent this voice to Sam Fisher. Like he is cool.
Yeah,
and then I got Savage Dragon, some other stuff I really don't know too much, and.
Oh, Doctor Who, the comic book, everybody's favorite.
I have no idea why they did this. Oh, this is actually one of my favorites right here.
Scooby-Doo team up.
With the Justice League, you see.
With the Justice League.
Man.
I
got one. Right.
There's too much glare. But yeah, it's great. You know, you got Supermans and Batmans and some ghouls.
It's my favorite cover. This wasn't Free Comic Book Day, but my boss and I got each one.
This one, Justice League.
You got
Thunder
Aquaman,
from Down Under.
You got Batman,
Justice
Superman,
League.
Green Lantern. I don't even know who this guy is. Who's this guy right here? Oh, it's the Flash.
The Flash.
I can understand a lot of women like complaining that they don't ever over-sexualize men. I think this is the funniest thing.
Perfect. Yep.
I'm more jealous that I don't have abs like that.
It's okay.
This is like another...
The Tick. This is a classic.
You know what they're talking about? Did you ever watch the live animated show?
Yes.
The live show?
With, Patrick Warburton.
They're actually talking about bringing that back.
Yeah.
I would love...
That'd be so awesome.
I think the problem is that if they released it now, I think it'd take off a lot better.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Are they going to do it like on an Adult Swim? They'd have to do it on Adult Swim, I swear. Like for something like that.
No, because I think the original show ran on
Fox.
Ran on Fox.
Yeah.
That was funny. I just think the problem is
Who has
that
the rights to it?
People will start having... It was... When they released it, it was like... It wasn't during the superhero hype.
Mm-hmm.
It was during the time when people didn't really want to touch superheroes because you're coming off the train of George Clooney ruining Batman.
Yeah.
And then things like that. And I was reading an article the other day. One thing that actually really helped pick up superheroes again was that new X-Men movie. The very first one.
The very first X-Men movie?
Yeah, the very first X-Men movie that
I
came
can see
out.
That. Yeah.
And that helped build the hype.
Absolutely.
And then what kind of tried to really kill the hype was the Fantastic Four movie and Fox taking it right. But then everybody was like so mad that Disney bought Marvel and everybody was going to riots, and then Disney's like, no, we know where to take this.
Disney, I was actually pretty happy about that because I knew Disney has the buying power, and hopefully they'll be able to pick up the rest of the Marvel stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I really hope they can pick up Spider-Man all the way, but what they've got so far is really good. I'd like to see them get X-Men back and Fantastic Four.
What was your thoughts when they bought LucasArts, though?
LucasArts? I think it'll be fine. I mean, I don't think it needs to be in George Lucas's hands anymore.
I just think the problem is that, okay, a lot of people are going to hate me for this. Star Wars is terribly written.
The first, or the 1 through 3, yes.
No, not 1 through 3. I'm saying 4 through 6. And then hear me out. This isn't saying that they're not good movies.
Yeah.
I just think George Lucas he's a good world builder. He builds worlds really well.
Yeah.
He builds these whole entire lush environments, populates the characters. Like if you want proof that George Lucas doesn't know how to watch some of his other movies like THX and other things. Like he's not that good of a writer.
I don't think he's good at anything.
No, but the thing is that the thing that's great about Star Wars is that the fact that it is like, and a lot of stuff I enjoy is badly written. Yeah, I'm gonna admit that right now. Star Wars is not that complexity. I think he got really lucky with. He was willing to do a lot of the special effects people weren't, and then he got really lucky casting the people he did. And then you take that, replace it with some other stuff, and then there's some hands. It's really not that good of a movie. But again, a lot of it was just, I think because it ages well because of people's nostalgia, not because of how well it's written. Right. And I know a lot of people are probably like blow up and like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, for like the biggest time, like Boba Fett wasn't even that big as a badass. He doesn't fire like in the original shots. Somebody can probably use me. He doesn't fire like a single shot.
I guess, yeah, he doesn't, does he?
He's kind of just static, and proof of that is just when George Lucas had like full reign and control and then he just keeps. I think the problem with Lucas is he just wants to touch everything.
Yeah, like I think the problem with Lucas is he went back and retouched all the old Star Wars and made them terrible. But anyway, we're about out of time here, so we're gonna wrap this up and call it good. But it's been nice. This is the first pilot episode 0 of the Thearly Clinking Podcast. Stay tuned next week. We're gonna go live. We're gonna do it live next week.
Oh wait, is the mixer finally coming in?
Yeah, we're gonna get the audio issues that we need to work out, and we're gonna do a live cast next week, which is gonna be really cool.
Well, so we love if you guys. I think is it 7 p.m. we want to shoot for mostly.
I haven't set a time yet. I'll post the time later on once we get it set. But yeah, it'll probably be about 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time because we are in Utah. But
so that would make it 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, and then
you've got it backwards. 6 p.m. Pacific Time, and then 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, I do.
Anyway.
Which is bad, is because I have to. I work with it. My job is constantly dealing with different time zones.
No worries, I've got you covered. So yeah, we're gonna call that wraps though. I really appreciate anybody listening to us. Follow our Twitch stream, Thearly Clinking.
We love once we do get it up. Yeah. We'd love to get user input.
Yeah, we're gonna need lots of it as we're starting, but we're streaming constantly. We don't have a stream schedule quite yet. That's also something we're working on. But yeah, you'll see either me or TJ streaming on our channel. It's twitch.tv/clearly.
You can't even say the name. I'm not the only one.
I can say it sometimes. But twitch.tv/Thearly Clinking. And then you can check our YouTube channel for this podcast. We'll post some VODs there. And yeah, we'll go.
Let us know what you like, because next time we're gonna have to explain why we're actually doing this. I think that'd be a good topic for next time.
Yeah.
Why we actually started it.
Why the origins story of Thearly Clinking. So you've got the first you've got a taste of us, and then we'll kind of go back and you'll hear the origins.
We're doing it George Lucas.
How we were. Yeah, we're gonna retouch everything.
We're gonna have Indiana Jones 1. We're gonna Indiana Jones 2, which is a prequel.
We're gonna edit in more activity on the screen, so it looks like more stuff's going on, and oh man, it's gonna be great.
All right, that's.
But yeah, that's it. We're trying to wrap it up, and it's not wrapping working. Itself up for some reason. What's going on?
Hold on, wait.
Oh, there's the cut. There's the cut. It's over.